Good to speak with you again today, Christoph. This is looking forward to discussing this new topic with you about how to develop leadership skills in supply chain and logistics. And my first question is, can you provide us with an introduction about your experience in leadership seminars and courses?
Sure, Dustin, and also I am glad to speak with you again. Well, my name is Christoph Szakowski, and I am managing partner at LogCon East, which is a Vienna-based advising group, specialized in the field of logistics. We serve clients with several boutique solutions for the industry, helping the shipping companies to achieve competitive advantage and supporting the management in career development, in professional progress. And actually, 10 years ago, I started in Poland, a company which we integrated later into LogCon East. But, from its beginnings, it was already a professional provider of seminars for logistics companies. So we've been helping the specialists, the managers, in the development of the executive skills of personal effectiveness in, special and dedicated trainings. Regarding my personal experience, it's based on 18 years plus in the international logistics industry, in several executive roles, where I had countrywide, regional, or worldwide responsibility for leading 3PL companies and transportation firms in Europe and in Asia. So my passion is, to develop people and make them leaders. And I believe this passion was very helpful in preparing, conducting, and follow-up of the programs I had as trainer with several hundreds of participants, mainly in Poland and in Germany. So, later through our development, we gradually started working with trainers, with well-selected top trainers. They have been mainly executives from the logistics industry with the talent to teach and inspire people. So I am sure this is one of the factors which distinguish us in the leadership education. If I would, briefly summarize factors which really count, I would say, first of all, so number one would be real business experience, which we have in corporate world, so we know what we talk about and teach. Participants in our seminars immediately see their questions are answered by experts. So we have the grasp of the industry and can customize trainings for the people. The second thing which counts is probably that we solved several tough leadership challenges in the real world regarding team development, client negotiations, cross-cultural difficulties all over the world. So we deliver to the class a piece of advice coming, from top-notch experience of executive. Maybe it's not so much coaching, methodology, or other stuff, because it's really top-notch experience of executives working in international standards. And last factor, last but not least, is that we steadily develop our programs to meet the new requirements, and some special drivers, key drivers in the logistics industry, which have a big impact on all people working in logistics and shipping sector. I mean, for example, in the new series of trainings, which we will start this fall, we're going to address the questions of leadership in the digital age. So that is a pretty new topic, and also the dynamics coming from emerging markets, and the role of a leader in the agile projects environment, and in an environment where you have a lot of new business models.
So why is it important to to steadily develop leadership in logistics?
Dustin, I believe, first of all, I would like to start with my observation that I simply believe that great leaders can be made rather than they are simply born. So I am absolutely sure that there is a lot what a deep and international executive education can help you in your career, in gaining personal confidence and in achieving your goals and dreams. And especially, we believe there is a lot of unleashed, untapped potential in leadership in the logistics industry in Central and Eastern Europe. So that is the area where we primarily act. And the reason for it, I simply see that there is a lot of fast developing companies in supply chain, logistics, business process outsourcing markets. So the fundamental issue here is the need of the companies that the leaders become better. And you can only master this with steady development. Also, I believe that now it's the time to set the same expectations to companies and the leaders in Eastern Europe like in Western Europe. It is simply required to have people, with horizon to see the big picture, to have the leaders which are inspiring, to have the solutions managers, and to have people who are ready to work smoothly in Eastern Europe and in Western Europe. So the second reason is that you need to develop leadership in logistics to be able to work internationally with the same, effectiveness, understanding, and passion which you have working locally. The next thing is that actually we receive feedback from our clients who were satisfied with the trainings, and they also propose to develop further the offer in the Polish market. I believe they have seen that in this traditional, Polish training providers market, there is some rather low quality trainings which are sometimes offered at costs near to zero, and trainers sometimes they are more amateur, or even they do not possess any experience in corporate business world. So what we are going to do is offer, and we are really keen to do this, to offer to the market real European training and leadership development standards. So coming back, to your question, why there is a need? Because I think this is essential to think about this. Well, I think, first of all, the first reason, the logistics professionals work across several functions in the organization. Or you have, managers in logistics service providers who work both with clients, with suppliers, with different sectors of business. So it means communication is the key. Negotiation is essential. You need to be good at prioritization skills. You need to have those qualities to become a leader if you want to lead, successfully. So you need to develop a certain tool set to deal with your peers, with the bosses, with the purchasing managers, with the sales managers. You need to bring the best from each interaction you have. So for this reason, you need to train communication and other skills. So the second reason why it is important, I would see that the logistics sector as a sector has become one of the most challenging, interconnected and international industries. And once we made a research comparing several industries and asked about qualities people believe the leaders must have. So the result was that it is believed that they have to have a strong vision, They need to be creative, innovative, and be very strong at change management, especially in the logistics. So we need to consider that also logistics service providers, sometimes they are misleadingly held for being, a kind of automated system organization, or they are believed to be a kind of architecture, of warehouses, tracking infrastructure, port operations, so on. But in reality, it is something different. I mean, it is something different which makes them outperform the competition and survive in a tough market. For example, in Poland, we have at least 100 companies with great ambitions to become the leaders in the logistics, and the whole market is worth about 50 billion euro. So it's a big business. So what make the companies and the leaders great is the level of service, is the quality of people interaction, it's keeping the promise and inspiring different, trading partners you work with. So you need here leaders who are extremely well across the boundaries, leaders who are extremely well working with different teams and specialists, people who are really well at working out great solutions, and people who really can make supply chain a living organism. So also, last but not least, I would like to underline one thing. This industry is becoming currently extremely involved in the technological changes. I mean, we hear it everywhere: automation, blockchain, big data, and so on and so on. So now, with all these technologies introduced, there is a shift towards hiring more engineers, IT specialists, and those people are entering the industry. Now, there is a great need for leaders to make them, those specialists, work together in a project which brings out at the end, results, and not only, 6 or 7 figure invoice to be paid, but the real results. You need to bring the real results in customer service, operational efficiency. So leaders in the logistics are needed because they need to ensure the profit from the investments, and they need to ensure that companies are staying on track with their mission and do not, lose vast amounts of money and resources with some mini initiatives. So there is a great, need for practical development of those skills. And, answering your question, I believe a quote of Henry Mintzberg reflects it well, because he said, leadership, like swimming, cannot be learned by reading about it. So I feel that, our practical trainings are exactly what is needed in the industry.
And what are the advantages of face-to-face classes versus online courses?
It's important to address this question, but at the beginning, let us think about a situation, a possible situation. So let us say you are appointed into a new executive position, or let us say you start working in a new company or in a new project or longer assignment anywhere. And are you doing it online or offline? Are you supposed, to be a great manager, develop people, make big deals, communicate and motivate via, a kind of virtual presence? And to me, the answer is simple: no. I believe as a leader, you need to demonstrate the skills and show show up to the expectation in live situation, in face-to-face situation. So you lead a team, and in the vast majority of cases, in the established companies in the logistics, you do it via your presence, via personal meetings. What happens online is a kind of additional thing, but it's never supposed to replace physical presence. It's just supposed to support it. So why I believe this natural way of education is having advantages. I would give some advantages and some examples. First of all, I believe in a class education. You have clearly dedicated resources for you as participant. Let's say 10 or 12 participants. So you can really ask questions and you get answers. There is a group interaction. There is a peer teamwork live. And simply you feel that there is somebody who is taking care of your learning progress. In online courses, everything is available. Yes, that's true. You have a PDF, you have a video, and so on. But nobody is really interested how fast and how successful you are working on it. Maybe you are getting, automatic reminder once a month. That's all. So what we offer, for example, are 2-day seminar courses, no distraction. You focus on the real business case, and you are challenged by a real teacher. Yeah. And you are experiencing, a group of people. So this is exactly the experience you are supposed to have, and you always have as executive in a logistics company. So the advantage of the real communication with your peers can never be overestimated. It's a real value to you to work, and because also you get to know a lot of people working in your sector. So you have with them strong interaction during the course, and probably you network with them after. So you could become, or it could become, a kind of lifelong relationship in business or even friendship. So that is always welcome, because that is the value you have. And the more good connections and the good quality relationship you have, the better for your career and for the value you bring in the business world. And the third plus is what I see is you become, once starting cooperating with us, a member of our network, which is, a worldwide community of managers, executive advisors, coaches, hiring managers. And this is very helpful because this community is strong in Central and Eastern Europe, and is growing every day in the number, but also in the quality, in the diversity. So this all is possible with classroom teacher-led seminars. And we always welcome people with passion for the life development and business progress. And I would be very happy to work with them in future. So what I am saying is those advantages might be seen as very important. But obviously, of course, I see also a lot of advantages of online courses and education, no doubt about it. But let's face it, where you can better practice communication skills, persuasion, let's say negotiation, then in a face-to-face live situation, or where you can establish a dialogue and get attention. So probably that's a better solution. So I invite, all people interested in live courses to join this fall, to join and see, to have really an advantage from this leadership series, which we will start on several locations in Poland.
And do you have any personal stories and recommendations?
Yes, actually, I do have, and I would illustrate one example. I mean, I was that was the early stage of my career. And at that time, I was working in Austria. And I was invited by the company to join a sales and negotiation seminar. And that was done by a first-class trainer who was, by the way, a former executive of a logistics company. And that was extremely good, even I would say mind-changing experience, because it was so well customized to the real challenges you have in customer interactions, in presentation, negotiation, and so on. So that was really inspiring, I believe, not only for me, but also for other participants who were really very enthusiastic after the training. So, it was a lot of role plays, case scenarios, but also a lot of anecdotes and humor. So that is also important. And a lot of descriptions of sometimes tough business situation you might face. And actually later in my career, and in different occasions, I used simply the tricks of the trade he had shown, and they work out perfectly. So that was, all in all, extremely helpful training, and something you never forgot. So this is exactly how I see the role of a good training. I mean, motivating, enriching your perspective, giving real support for your business life. And I wish all people to have such good experience with leadership program. So if somebody is interested, which kind of training might suit them best, suit best their needs, as mentioned, we will relaunch this training program in Poland this fall, and I can be contacted on LinkedIn. Would be extremely happy to support, discuss any questions, and like always, in Polish or in German or in English or in Russian. So I would be happy to answer.
Great, and thanks for sharing today.
You're welcome. Always great to speak with you.